Hey guys, welcome back. It's Avalon, and today we're gonna be talking about Queen Charlotte. Okay, how many of you guys been hearing your friend talk about Queen Charlotte at school? Like, oh my god, what are you watching? Queen Charlotte? Have you seen that episode of Queen Charlotte? Yes, I know. I am one of those. I even told my mom to watch it, and she watched it all in one day. It was written by the renowned and amazing producer and writer, Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes is just amazing. Shonda Rhimes has created a bunch of other stuff. Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, everyone's favorite, and Private Practice. This candle is fragrancing. Fragrancing? I really love this candle, so I thought I would light it just to give some little ambiance. The synopsis is, two people, King George III and Queen Charlotte, coming together and having a beautiful romantic story. Let's talk about our favorite characters, guys. My favorite characters, the entire cast was amazing. Loved Queen Charlotte, Danbury, and King George. Each character had perseverance, strength, confidence, but you also saw how they had weaknesses, and it was so beautifully portrayed.
Do I look perfectly right to you?
You are perfectly right.
It was portrayed in a realistic way, which just showed how they were human. I think what many people like about Queen Charlotte is the fact that it's so raw, it's real. It just gets you because it's like, oh, tell me who you guys' favorite characters were down below and tell me why. I think that everyone had a soft spot for King George. Everything he went through, his mental health, all that crisis, how much he really loved Queen Charlotte. I think everyone had just a huge soft spot for him. This is fiction, so speaking strictly on the fiction of Queen Charlotte, she is portrayed as Black, biracial, whatever you have it, in the show. I am not going to get into the realistics about everything because that is another video for another day. That's history lesson, and this is a drama talking lesson. Favorite moments: when Queen Charlotte and George decided to have no more odd or even days. They were going through it, not really liking each other. They weren't on the same page. A lot of miscommunication.
No more even days and odd days.
We should just have days.
Mm-hmm.
They were meeting up on even days so they can try and, produce an heir. Strictly just, we are doing this for the sole purpose of having an heir. I love how they came together and they were just like, no more odd or even days. We'll just have days. That was said by George. It was beautiful. I loved it so much. Lastly, one of my huge, and I think it was a lot of people's favorite scene. Like, it's gonna be beyond. Episode 6, Queen Charlotte, current Queen Charlotte, and current King George was reverting back to their younger, your younger versions of themselves. It was so beautiful. Director, amazing. I don't know, but under the bed, they were looking at each other. Oh, it was so beautiful.
Charlotte. Hello.
Hello, George. George, we have succeeded. Our son, Edward, he has married and his wife is with child. Your line will live on.
Our line.
Our line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I cried. Let me just tell you right now, I cried. And I don't know if I'm not embarrassed enough, I'll put a clip in, but I was like crying and I was like, oh my god, they got me in my feels. Story just lets you know that love is a powerful thing. It is beautiful. It should be talked about. Not only is it romantic, but it's hard, it's a struggle. And we saw that with King George. Amazing performances from India and Corey. Their chemistry was just to die for. You could really feel the, anger, the want, the need, it was so good. I felt like I was in the room, a fly on the wall, just like, truly the chemistry between the actors. That's one thing that makes a show so good to watch, when the actors know how to act and their acting is acting. Their acting is really captivating you. So I'm gonna lastly talk about the themes and then I'll give you guys my rating. Love was the theme between, of course, Queen Charlotte and George, between Brimsley and Reynolds, between Lady Danbury and Lord Ledger, which, I mean, can we talk about that? Who didn't see that coming? I saw that coming the minute that he introduced himself to her as, you'd be a nice friend. I was like, oh, they are definitely, ooh, and they did that, and I was like, I saw it coming. I saw the love between Augusta. We saw that love that she had for her son.
The weight on his mother as she watches her son start to crack. If God grant you ever do bear an heir, then you may start to learn, and your first lesson will be this. You would do anything to stop the cracking.
The sacrifices she had to make, and yes, she had to go get someone that's totally from out the country to marry her son and not disclose his issues with her. And I just loved seeing her mother spirit. That's literally it. But one of the few, moments we saw with love. I wish we would have saw more about Reynolds and Brimsley. I loved the dynamic, and it was so, nice to see when Brimsley was dancing by himself outside, imagining that it was Reynolds. Love to know what happened to Reynolds. Maybe we'll know, maybe we won't, but it was cute. Duty. Yeah, we saw duty with Queen Charlotte, of course, needing to fulfill her duty for her country. Lives in Germany, a small province in Germany. We knew that from her brother Adolphus, and he basically said he needed to sign this betrothal contract, that he had no choice. And I love that. Was also one of my favorite scenes in the first scene, how intense and real that moment was. Like, hey, this is what you have to do, and I had no choice. We had no choice, so suck it up and do what you have to do. Like, that scene was Chief's kiss. That scene gripped me. I was like, ooh, it's about business. The show's about business. Corrected her real quick. Also with George, one notorious quote said it all. How he had conflict all life, liked sciences, he liked farming. He even said if he wasn't this, he would be a farmer. This duty to follow the monarch, follow the rules. Or Lady Danbury, her duty to be beside her husband. But his favorite color was her favorite color. I thought to myself, like, I cannot possibly imagine truly just living for someone else. And because of her duty as Lady Danbury, she even inevitably ended up neglecting her own children, just like her own parents did to her. And Queen Charlotte needing her children to create babies, that was also a sense of duty. I obviously didn't think that they were taking it that serious. Regardless if you look like breeding stock or anything, this is what you need to do. This is your job. This is why you were born. Sadly, as it is, sacrifice, and was amazing. We saw the sacrifice, George going through all that pain and torture with the doctors. Queen Charlotte had no idea that he was really putting himself through all this, just so he could be a correct husband, father, leader. It was heartbreaking, but that was a sacrifice that he chose to make for her. He sacrificed their honeymoon. Also, Charlotte, she left home. She left her freedom. She left home. She left all that to get married to King George. And that was also a huge sacrifice on her part. Sacrifices throughout the entire show. Mental health was a huge theme, showing that Lady Danbury, when she was having intercourse with her husband, how she was she had depression, PTSD. I'm not here to self-diagnose anyone, but it showed like there was truly issues, and I'm sure that it affected her psyche. Also with King George, he was having some sort of mental health condition. Even though it's not proven what exactly he had, it's speculated that he probably had bipolar disorder, he probably had schizophrenia, or he had this blood disorder. Lastly, the beauty of perspective. Beauty of perspective, I say this lastly because we saw in the 4th episode you know, George's perspective and how it truly changed the rest of the show for everyone. And it was a total flip. I mean, I felt so bad for him. I was crumbling. I was like, oh, I can't believe I doubted you. I can't believe, because you know, in the beginning you see such a charming, attractive, and nice, kind young man, you know, being with Charlotte. Once they get to the palace, he is so different. 360. He's like, go, no, I'm not staying here. Go. Very weird. And we're just like, what's the issue? We're all like, what's the issue, dude? What's the issue? What's your problem? What's going on? And in the 4th episode, we truly see that it's because of his illness. He loves her so much that he doesn't want her to see how bad, quote unquote, his condition is. He doesn't want to hurt her. So he's trying to shield her from seeing how he really is. The miscommunication, she's feeling like he'd rather be with the sky and the stars and Venus than with her. So lastly, I'm gonna give the show a rating of 9. I would give it a 10, but I never really give anything a 10. But I'm gonna give it a 9 for now. A 9.5, baby. It's really good. I don't really like romance or history. It's great because it's only 6 episodes. I mean, it's an hour each episode, but hey, it's like 2 movies. So you can do it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope you guys also enjoyed Queen Charlotte. Tell me what you guys' thoughts were. Tell me if you watched it. Tell me if you're gonna watch it. Tell me why you won't watch it. Just tell me anything. Great time making this video and a better time even watching it. Enjoy. Bye. Have a good day.